What is going on? All right. So the maps that we're gonna really cover is going to be. Hold on, gotta find it. Um, um, okay. No, that's not it. So for the next few scrims, how we're gonna be breaking down the map pool. For the tournament that we entered, map pool is okay. That couldn't have been that long ago. The fuck is it? Sorry. Oh, okay. So the map pool for the upcoming tournament that we're going to be in is Busan, Ilios, Oasis for Koth. Escort is Dorado, Havana, Rialto. 2CP is Hanamura, Volskaya Temple, obviously. And Hybrid is Eichenwald, Numbani, Kings Row. Okay? Most of these maps are going. Most of the time, there's going to either be one round or more of either one comp or the other. So, for example, like Busan, downtown is the only place we'd play double bubble. Sanctuary and Mega Base are when we play Brawl. Ilios, Ruins, and I think I said Lighthouse is where we play Brawl. Double bubble is for Well. Oasis, it's same thing except University is Brawl. So for the escort maps, this is where, for the other three types of maps, this is where we usually are going to tend to one comp or the other. Yes, I know there in some parts of each map there can be Brawl could be better, but for example, Eichenwald on second, double bubble is pretty good there. But the only problem with that is that in between first and third of Eichenwald, you're gonna completely switching your entire comp over to double bubble from Brawl is gonna just reset alts quick, very a lot and set us behind in general, right? So we don't want to go from defending on first to completely comp swap to double bubble on second just to get rolled because we don't have alts, just to switch back to Brawl on third, right? So some of these maps, yes, they can be run with either Brawl or Double Bubble, but for the most part, either one comp's going to be better than the other on the specific map. So for Escort, Dorado, we're going to be running Double Bubble. Havana, Rialto is primarily going to be Brawl. 2CP, Hanamura is one of those maps where we might do a little bit of both. But Volskaya and Temple of Anubis should primarily be double bubble. Hybrid, Eichenwald, like I said, will be Brawl. Numbani, double bubble. Kings Row, Brawl. So I hope that kind of explains at least a little bit of the comps that we should be running this week. What the fuck? Huh. Yeah, on Dorado defense, we would be doing double bubble as well. Um, Obviously, Brawl can be run on Dorado. It's just, in my personal opinion, the fast mobility of double bubble compared to Brawl on Dorado is more advantageous than Brawl. Because Brawl, every time you go, let's say second point, you're constantly, every time you lose a fight or you win a fight, you're constantly having to retake high ground. And how to retake high ground on Dorado is just, it's just, think of it distance-wise, it's just really long away, right? So you're thinking second point, you have to go up the right side, go towards the mega, go up the stairs, come back around, go across the bridge, or go through the middle building, go to the other side, that kind of thing. You know, it's time-consuming. Compared to double bubble, where it's a little bit easier to just up and down on high ground for at least DPS and Winston. So hopefully that makes sense. So first thing we're going to go into is Anubis. Hopefully this doesn't take too long, because I'm going to try to cover at least half or most or all of the double bubble maps. So this will be kind of about where we position, how we take the fights, at least to get us started. Yes, there's a lot, like I said in the last video, there's a lot more to double bubble than just what I kind of explained yesterday. There's a lot of small interactions and small things that each role and character needs to be doing. So we'll get into that when the time comes. So I think we're gonna start on defense here first for what we're running. So when we run double bubble. So where should we be holding up here, right? Excuse me, put the sneeze. Okay, so I guess let's talk about the comp. So obviously supports and tanks are going to be the same for this map. DPS can vary, right? So let's say if we wanted to run, even supports at times can vary as well. Let's say if we wanted to run Echo Ash here, right? So Ash would stand up here, preferably have a Mercy pocket. Maybe the Ana's up here with her. Zarya sits on this ledge right here. Who am I missing? Oh, and then the Echo is like somewhere up around here, right? Poking wherever she needs to. And diving in with the monkey when the monkey comes. Or we can just stick to something more traditional like Tracer Sombra, Tracer Echo, Sombra Echo, that kind of thing. So that's an example for the comp exactly, right? So the nice thing about Anubis is that or at least the nice thing about double bubble on Anubis is how many chokes there are on this first point, right? So there's going to be a couple times where we're going to need to hit them multiple times, right? And these multiple times are more advantageous for us because this is when they're going to be trying to rotate. This is going to be when they're rotating, right? So how this happens is this is one place where we engage. This is one place. All over here is one place. Here. And up here, right? So let's say they push through left. Our Winston can hang up around here, ready to drop, not peeking because he doesn't want to take any damage beforehand. It's important that he doesn't get pressured out. Would be doing double bubble on Dorado defense. Oh, so catch them out of rotation. Yeah. Say it's not the fact that you're catching them out of rotation. It's that you're pressuring them through the rotations so that they need to use resources. They need to use CDs. They need to, use possibly, well, not ults, but possibly big CDs like Lamp or something like that, right? So if they rotate through here, Winston's sitting up here, or is, I don't know, just in this general area waiting for them to come out. Our Zarya can, at this point, can stand right here just to wait for when the monkey goes in. Monkey goes in, she bubbles him when he's right there or right there. He does his damage. Most of the time, they're going to rotate through. If they don't and they try to pressure out and kill the Winston, Winston just jumps out, right? And then, the Echo will be like over here somewhere trying to pressure, or over here trying to pressure, that kind of thing, right? So then they'll rotate through.
Executing flight maneuvers.
We're going to rotate through. Everyone is changing positioning, right? Monkey starts to come back this way. Ana's... I think, personally, I think Ana's better playing right there just because she can see this choke. Because a lot of teams do take this choke quite often, right? So, Winston plays somewhere in this area. They come through. Same rotation happens. He tases, gets bubble, possibly uses his bubble, and then gets out, right? And at this point, Echo hopefully rotates to somewhere over here. does her thing, blah blah blah.
Mark
People
on my
die.
target.
Hopefully. So for the most part, the brig would be with the Ana. At least on this point in the map is like up here with the Ana. So that first part that I explained for the rotation is important for the monkey not to die, because, or at least not fully engaged, right? He still needs to get the resources from the Zarya and help from the DPS, but he can't get caught out right there because the Ana and Brig can't see him from there, right? So like I said, let's run through it again how it starts. Monkey starts in here, tases one way or the other. They push through. He rotates back up here. They push through this way. He's already here. He gets his Zarya bubble. He jumps out, comes up here. Zarya moves up here to over here, pressures them out, and then eventually can come up there with the Ash. Ana Brigger right here. Look for antis and stuff like that. And then they get the point. By the time they get the point, you've already hit them twice. Most likely, one or more people are already gonna die, right? Let's talk about the other way for attack, for defense, right? So if they rotate through this way, Winston's right here. They keep rotating through. The big thing about this is, if anything, we need to try to get a pick or stop them from coming up these stairs. If they come up these stairs, that leaves our backline vulnerable and forces them to rotate across the map to the other side of the map, right? Sorry, give me 1 second. So that's going to force our supports to rotate to the other side of the map if we don't pressure and kill them here, right? So, like I said, if the Echo starts up here, or can even start up there to scout, she follows through with the Winston. Winston jumps over here, gets Zarya bubble. Hopefully we kill something over here. If not, and they still manage to rotate through, then supports from up here gonna have to drop back in that area. Winston, it rotates up here. Zarya goes from there to up here, so she can at least be able to lob nades, throw bubbles out. And then either the Echo or the Tracer should come up on a flank from here when we engage them right here, right? Winston sits there, starts doing his tasing. Echo or the other DPS pops up from behind. The other DPS is already up here, so preferably who comes behind would be like the Tracer or Sombra, right? Tracer Sombra comes from behind and starts poking them. Echo's up here with the Winston. Do the damage. Hopefully they die. Eventually, if they drop the point, it's the same explanation I use on Anubis. We just we look for picks, we play it slow, and we're giving our resources to Monkey for him to touch. So Monkey drops down, does his tasing, uses bubble, gets bubble, jumps back up, right? Even if it means giving them a tick or two, then that's perfectly fine. We give them a tick or two until we get a pick. Because if we're running an Ash or a Tracer or Sombra, any of the DPS we're running, most likely one of those is going to get the pick, especially since we're controlling the most important part of this map, which is both of these high grounds, right? Hopefully that explains defense a bit. If you have questions for Anubis' first defense, let me know. Okay, so for attack, I did explain this a little bit to you guys yesterday. I'm going to cover it just one more time. Just a second, sorry. I think Prox kind of explained it pretty well with the drawing, even though it looked really bad. So how this should happen is, let's say we're running Echo or Tracer Sombra, one of the two, right? Brig, Ana, Zarya, Monkey, Echo all come in this room. Monkey stays here. Everyone else comes this way. Backline stops like right here. Echo looks to come up this way. Can rotate around, right? And once CDs are back and we're ready to go, that's when Monkey jumps in from down here. He gets bubble. Backline comes out over here. Echo comes from over here, does her damage. Tracer, When everyone else is rotating this way, Tracer tries to come through here, sneak around to probably like this area, right? Or if she wants, sneak through here, come underneath, and then just try to poke him from the back from like right here, right? And then we all collapse right here. So Monkey comes this way, Echo comes from around the back, supports come through that door, Tracer comes from here or down here, right?
Mobility increased.
And then from there, they're usually going to be forced to back up. If someone's naded, somebody dies, whatever, they have to play point now, right? Once they play point, that's when we start taking advantage of the map. So, for example, Ana and Brig can stay up here. Zarya can get back up to here. I hope our Zarya knows how to do the ledge jump. I really hope so. Echo can sit on either side of these and just poke down. And Tracer and Winston can try to dive in on someone, or Sombra, and try to dive in on someone who's low and something like that. After that, it's just clean up from there, right? What do we do if the other team sets up on the top of point? Okay, so you're saying if they sit up here, I'm assuming. Just a second. So, if enemy team sits at the top here, that's a good question. Most likely in this meta, they really shouldn't be unless they're running some sort of treetop cheese strat, right? So at this point, you're thinking like Diva, Orisa, Bastion, Sim, Brig, Mercy kind of thing, right? In that case, it's the same thing. Zarya backline comes over here. Winston needs to safely, without getting poked out or getting extremely low, find a way to rotate close enough where he can jump up, right? And at that point, Echo can still do the same rotation, come up top, and come over this way instead. So she's going to be able to poke from here. If they can, Tracer can come up that way, and then double blink across to help do the damage. Winston comes up. It's the same thing, right? We're trying to make sure all of the CDs and all of the big damage comes onto our Winston, because he's going to have that bubble to block stuns, block big damage, whip shot, Lucio boop, that kind of thing, right? So every time the Winston jumps in, he'll be protected by that bubble, while the other two DPS will be coming on some sort of flank, or even if it's like a minor flank, right? So let's say instead of the Echo going all the way around and coming behind, even if the Echo just comes around to like right here, pops up and does her thing right here, that's good enough. Basically, you say 3 groups, but mostly it's just 2. You have your front line, which is your DPS and your Monkey, and your back line, which is Zarya, Brig, Ana. Hope that covers first point. So when I talked about the invisible line, kind of at in Discord, the invisible line runs from basically all of this lane, right? That's the that's not the invisible line. Sorry, here's the invisible line. Anything from that wall across, right? Once you get past this line on attack, more than anything, that's when you're in really good positioning to capture point. So defense, like I said, there's going to be 3 chokes, but the important thing about this map is that Echo, Tracer, or Sombra is looking to scout to see where they're coming from. They come straight down mid. We need to be calling, hey, they're looking to come straight down mid. Our Monkey's already here to rotate. They come straight down mid. Monkey drops down. Zarya gives bubble. Ana, Brig are free to see. Tracer, Sombra's on a flank. Echo comes from up top or whatever, right? So it's just important that we make sure somebody is scouting which way they are going for defending on this second point of the map, right? So let's say they go right side. Monkey's already here because he most likely will be sitting up here. Zarya can try to rotate and play like right there. Brigana again playing kind of point and seeing everything. Tracer, Sombra comes from the back. Echo can come from like right here or whatever, right? This is where we hit them. This is where we hit them. This entire lane is where we hit them, right? So those are the 3 places where we're going to be hitting them. That's at least where we're going to be hitting them first, right? Same thing applies for the first map where we hit them at the first original choke, and then we rotate to wherever they're rotating, matching the rotations on the second time. And we hit them that second time. Hopefully we get a pick by then. If not, we're forcing a lot of cooldowns out of them. So that's the first time we hit them, right? So like I said, this lane, that choke, over there. After that, let's say they make it through. Most of the time, teams that are going to rotate straight down mid, just going to go straight to point. Teams that come... Sorry, excuse me. God, I'm having a lot of trouble today. Anyone that rotates this way is just going to jump over and come through this way. Anyone coming to the right is most likely going to come over here. If they come to the right side, again, Winston's over here. Zarya plays kind of in between. Echo is on somewhere, God knows where. Tracer Sombra is going to be flanking. So Brig Ana going to play back here a little bit. Brig kind of plays right here. Zarya plays that. Brig Ana. Right? Echo, fuck knows where up here. Tracer's on the flank, or Sombra, whatever, is on the flank. Monkey plays right here. This is where we hit them the second time. Most likely, again, we'll be killing someone right here. It's just, dive has always been about the potency of all at once burst, right? You look back to the original dive where Tracer, Genji, Winston, D.Va, right? It was everyone diving the same target at the same time and bursting someone down. In a sense, this applies as well, right? Monkey comes around the corner. Tracer tries to burst someone down from the back. Echo is looking to throw stickies, beam, right? And hopefully kill someone. It's just it's incredibly potent, but it's kind of like those. It's kind of like a one hit. If it doesn't work, you need to get out and reset. So, doesn't work, then you kind of reset from there, and at that point, it kind of turns into a brawl, and at that point, you're just looking for a good opening. So same thing I said on like first point attack when we've already gotten the pick. At that point, we're just looking for an opening on first once we take those important high grounds that are right there and over there. Hopefully that explains defense a bit. Oh, no, not really. It doesn't, does it? So if they come down mid, it's obviously coming down mid on this map is very dangerous just because of how many resources you need to get from point A to point B, which is kind of a deterrent, and people will most likely either choose going that way or going to the left, right? I already explained what you do for the second rotation on left or on right. So this one, once they come back over, we already hit them here. This is kind of the area we hit them again. Winston kind of sits right here, waits. Tracer again, or Sombra's on the back line. Echo's up here. And if they start to push that way, Ana Brig will be over here. So again, Ana kind of plays right here. Brig, Zarya, Winston. Either of those two. Well, most likely that's fine. Hopefully that explains Anubis for defense, right?
Changing position.
Okay, so attack. There could be 2 different ways that you want to approach this. Depends on what side their backline is, for the most part, or the exposed target that you want to be hitting. If you come around this way, it's the same thing where the... Actually, I want to explain the left side better, because I think the left side works much better than the right side does. So same thing as on first point for attack, is backline all comes through here. What do you mean when... What do we do if they pinch us when we're in double bubble? That's the point of double bubble is to hit them first and to be able to set up first. Most of the time, they're not going to be able to pinch you. And you need to keep kind of keep awareness of everything that's happening, so that if they are trying to go for something like a pinch play, then we're able to counter that. Okay, so let's say we come through this way. Again, it's the same thing. Backline all comes through here. Tracer Echo should go a different way. So Tracer could come through here,
Moving up.
pop out over here. Echo could come through the right side and come over here. So we'd be kind of playing up here in a sense. And backline comes through there. When everyone's ready, everyone has their CDs ready. Winston should fake rotation in there, come out, jump through. Once he jumps through, the backline comes out, bubbles Winston. Winston lands right here. You now just take control of half of this point, right? So having the Winston here could split off someone from right here. He drops bubble. Maybe they have an Ana or a BAP or whatever. He blocks any kind of healing to tanks right here. He's able to tase. Zarya, backline comes through, pinches whoever's right here. And afterwards, you just control this entire portion of the map is over here, right? From there, again, it's the same as I said before. You're just looking for picks and cleanup. And then you go from there. Hopefully that makes sense for attack. That's how I like to do it. Now, if you wanted to control this side of the map, it would be the same thing, except they rotate on this side. Backline rotates kind of over here, getting ready. Again, Winston can leap from up here, come all the way down, land right here, separate, and they pinch whoever's over here. Everyone rushes that person. And again, DPS can, again, Tracer can come through here, go that way. Echo can honestly sit with backline and come through this way and help out from up here, right? Winston jumps here, drops bubble, focus whatever's over here. That's if we want to go control that side. So those are the two ways you're kind of controlling Anubis on this portion of the map. Fuck. Gotta stop doing that. Okay, we'll do Volskaya now. So, and also, when it comes to, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't read that. The flank DPS is on the support, and the tanks are on the monkey. One man defended. What the fuck? Okay, so yeah, that is a good question. That's going to come into me kind of explaining in further detail the interaction between the backline. So your Brig, your Ana, and your Zarya, right? That's going to be a little different than most of the things, and it's kind of intricate of how CDs need to be used in order to peel for one another for backline. But again, I'll try to explain that in another video. Right now, we're just going to talk about rotations. So again, I think I already highlighted this map, so we're just gonna at least first point, so we're gonna touch on it. Monkey's up here. Zarya, Brig, Ana, top over there. Echo is somewhere over here. Tracer can play right here. Whichever side they go to, Monkey does his tase, gets his bubble from Zarya, tases, possibly uses his if he needs to. Tracer Echo collapse with him, and then if they still make it through, you get out. They go that way. Gotta rotate up to there. They start coming through. We're playing right here. Backline's already starting to rotate. Specifically, Ana Brig starts rotating that way. Zarya can kind of play like right here and help him out, or is playing right on top of the Winston to help him out. Most likely, you're gonna want her like right here so that she's free to back up without getting punished too hard. And then Tracer Echo can flank this way, or coming around this way. Echo can follow the monkey's movement and come this way up top. That kind of thing. And pinch somebody right here. Hopefully we get a pick right there. If we don't, come back to this side. And at that point, they're most likely going to try to touch point, or they're going to keep rotating back this way. If they do, we're just mirroring their rotations, right? So they move this way, we move this way. They move that way, we move this way. So then at that point, Brig Anna kind of has to jump down and come around, probably to over like that way, or start rotating this way. Or they can just honestly like sit right here, and we look for an engage right here with the monkey, right? So they start rotating this way, monkey hits them, Zarya plays in between. Once it gets too much, that's when everyone needs to rotate and rotate fast. Like, oh shit, time to get out. So monkey leaps out, rotates back over here, right? Everyone else is dropping and rotating back this way. Yes, they just cleared off high ground, but in order for them to take point, they're going to have to give up high ground, right? So at that point, that's when DPS can either contest high ground, or monkey can help the DPS contest high ground. Brig Anna should, if they go to point, Brig Anna should rotate back that way with the Zarya and come up the stairs so that they can be right there and see everything on point, right? Monkey's the one, again, that contests point by just dropping down, leaping back out, getting bubbles while he's touching, that kind of thing. Hopefully that explains defense for this point. It's again, we covered it yesterday, so it's a little bit more simplified. So for attack, we're gonna be mirroring those rotations again. So let's say we want to go right side. We start coming through. Come through here. Backline starts to rotate up. Winston stays down here. That's if we want to hit somebody that's up there, right? So if we do, when we're ready, Tracer Echo kind of flank this way, or but yeah, both people come this way. Tracer maybe sits right here when we're waiting. Echo can come around this way to right here, so that when we engage up on this top, Tracer pushes this way, Echo pops out, backline comes through here. Winston jumps from down there up to here. That's when the other team pushes right side. Yeah, okay, I can explain that. I'm gonna finish attack, then I'll go back to it. Okay, so for attacking this left side, if we want to be hitting up here, same thing. Backline rotates through that way. Echo, for the most part, Tracer's just gonna have to do her own thing for this to get up there, or she's just gonna have to come this way and look to kind of poke from right here. Echo comes this way, she jumps up to here. Monkey's already sitting like right there waiting to jump up here. He jumps up here, backline comes through this door, Echo pops up here, Tracer is poking from down here, hopefully kill something that's right here. Okay, did that cover how do we defend on right, or how to attack when they're defending on this side? Let me know if that makes sense to you. And then I'll go back over what to do on defense when the other team pushes right side. Let me know if that makes sense to you, and then we'll go from the other way. Okay, so if we're on defense and they rotate to this right side, again, Monkey's sitting up here, he's tasing as they come through here. He drops down, don't leap, just drop down, rotate over here, he's already over here. Zarya, Brig kind of have to, or Zarya at the very least has to start pushing over from there to over here so she can be able to see the monkey. Monkey does his tasing, Echo's with him, Tracer is like I said, sitting in that room originally, pops out from behind and is poking from this way. Echo is up here with the monkey. They're beaming anyone as they come across. He gets bubble. They rotate. You come up here. Tracer is just basically like the man left behind on their team, following them from behind. Or the Sombra, either way. And it's just following them behind as they make the rotation. Echo is following the monkey. Monkey comes up here, again does his thing. Zarya at this point is going to be either over there or eventually drop to Mega and then coming up to where the Brig Anna are, which would be right there. So we play against, fight them here. Again, we get the bubbles. Echoes from above. Tracer comes through this way. Zarya can lob nades from up here and support with bubbles. So hopefully that covers that question for... Basically, I mean, it's gonna take a little bit of just strategic thinking when it comes to it. Those are like picture perfect setups that you can do, especially if you're aiming to control there or here. For this map, the most important parts of the map are that high ground, this high ground, and this high ground. You control those three, you're going to be able to squeeze them like a snake until they die, right? Because then Echo's going to have free range to poke in there, Tracer's going to be all over the place, Zarya can pop, shoot nades from here, Ana Brig can see everything from up here. Same thing for the other side. So these are just the three important maps. If we control those portions of the map, that's good for us. So let's say they're not holding up here or here. Let's say they're doing the rank shit where everyone is kind of holding right here, right? So same rotations need to be made. If they're holding right here, I suggest that everyone just kind of goes the other way and pushes through. Monkey can try to contest and block as everyone rotates. Everyone rotates. This is what we control first, the three high grounds, before we attack them with their ranked fucking bullshit, right? So once we control the three high grounds, we get set up. Monkey comes over here. Ana Brig can play over there. Zarya can play over here, jump across to here. Monkey drops down on them, tases, gets bubble. Tracer, Echo come out of somewhere and pinch. Monkey uses leap to get out. Again, hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, you need to slow down, Classic. I'm gonna get there. I'm trying to answer your questions one at a time. Okay, so for defending, this point is a little bit harder for double bubble because you're only really gonna be able to attack them from one specific point. So how this should be is Monkey sits up here, Brig Ana over there, Tracer Echo again doing their thing on a flank kind of thing. Zarya can either play with the backline over there or play on this bridge to help the Monkey. They pop through, Monkey drops down, does his thing, gets bubble, support from supports. DPS come around, help him out, leaps out. Right? For this map, not many people do different rotations. Either they come straight, they come up here and they come around to this way, which again, at this point, it's just gonna, for poking, it's just gonna be the DPS that are poking anywhere up here, right? So Tracer out here, Echo flying and shooting from up here kind of thing. So, if they rotate this way, and they decide to come through here, all Monkey has to do, okay, let's pretend we didn't see that. All Monkey has to do is just sit up here. It's just the opposite side, right? So they rotate that way. Monkey already swapped over here. Once they push through, he drops, does his thing, bubble, DPS are already there, flanking, doing their damage, jumps out when he needs to, right? Hopefully that makes sense. For defense, pretty straightforward, I think. Again, questions, let me know. Okay, so for attacking on second, Brig Ana probably sits up here. Basically, yeah, because the second point is just, it's not like first point, or it's not like Anubis where you have 2 points that you can attack them, right? So Anubis, you had, let's say for example, second point, you had those 3 chokes, and then you had the 2 chokes that were on point. Hopefully that makes sense. So the caverns. So let's say if on Anubis, let's say if they, from a defender's point of view, if they rotate it right side, you attack them before they enter the caverns and when they exit the cavern, not tavern. Before and after they exit and enter the tavern. That's where you want to hit them. For Volskaya, you don't exactly have that. Like, because if you play, let's say if they rotate this way and you fight them anywhere back here, you're not gonna have support from your Brig Ana, because your Brig Ana is gonna be forced to get off of their positioning just to help you, which is bad. That means your backline is now infinitely more exposed, and you don't have the advantageous positioning of the map. So again, high ground. They rotate this way. Let's say if you want to fight up here, yes, your Brig Ana can see you a little bit, but it's honestly not the best here. You're gonna be putting yourself in a lot more danger from up here than if you are just to fight here or here. That choke, yes, you can fight for that a little bit more if you want, but I suggest just kind of holding either here or here and fighting from there. So if they rotate that way, Winston's over there dropping. If they come through this way, Winston's right here tasing, drops, fighting them here. Hopefully that makes sense for this point. So if you're for attack, again, you want to try to control these high grounds. How I like to go is probably Monkey pops up around here, does his tasing. Honestly, it kind of just depends on how you read the situation and where they're being set up. Most of the time, people are going to be set up here, right? So in that case, if you can, you rotate along the right side. I know it's more dangerous with boops and stuff. Rotate around here for your back line and come over here. Winston is again down mid with maybe DPS around mid, or Echo flies around the water on the edge of the map and comes around. And then we jump up here and collapse on whoever's up here with backline comes through this way, Echo comes through this way, Tracer could even come through this way, Monkey jumps up, right? Yeah, honestly, Volskaya for attack on double bubble is a bit harder than it is to defend. Hopefully this at least kind of explains how you should be doing it. Again, backline rotates up, Echo, Tracer can come on a flank, Winston stays down there until he's ready to jump up here. When he is, he gets his, Zarya pops out, he gets his bubble, he lands over here. What do we do if the other team does that engage through the high ground? I kind of don't know which high ground you're talking about. So you're saying if they engage from up here on these two platforms? Wait, telling us to attack from. What do we do with the other team that engaged through that? High ground. So you're saying if as defenders, if they hold right here, the two platforms. So from back here. Or are you saying from over here? Okay, apparently my comments aren't popping up. Give me a second. Okay, so you're saying, what do we do if they attack where the supports are supposed to be? So if they attack from up here, I'm sorry, wait, how you're saying it is kind of confusing. I think you mean from over here. If they attack you when you're coming over this way? Is that right? Most of the okay, so then let's that's a good point, and you're not wrong. Okay, then let's change it than that, right? So let's say backline sits up here. We still want to engage right there. So what Monkey does, he comes through this way. Again, DPS are looking for a flank. This gives the opportunity for Tracer to go that way, and then Echo to go to the right. We pinch right there, right? So Zarya, Brig, Ana plays up there. When we're ready to go, pinch. Does that make sense? It's only a 3-man pinch, but that's going to be able to force anyone that's up here off of the map, or off of this section of the map, right? From there, Ana Brig can play right there. Hopefully we get a pick right here. If we don't, then again, we control the high ground of this map, so we're just looking for an opening at that point. That's when, if they're playing over here, Ana Brig might want to rotate to that pillar. So like standing right there, Zarya drops down, she can play that line right there. And if they rotate over here, Winston does his thing, pressures out, use bubbles, gets out of dodge. Again, DPS are doing their thing, flanking. Maybe Tracer sits up on the bridge, poking down on them. Echo rotates again, cliffside, where she can shoot them, or she's up in the air right here. Hopefully that makes sense. If that makes sense, let me know. Classic, does that make sense? Yes, you're welcome. Okay. Actually, I think we're just going to do the maps that we're going to be scrimming, I'm assuming, today. I don't know where I put it. Okay, so the maps that we should be scrimming today is going to be Oasis, Volskaya, and Dorado. Oasis, I'm not really going to cover. Hopefully the general theme allows you to understand where you position, at least from looking at Temple and Volskaya and eventually Dorado. Hopefully that you can apply that for Oasis. If not, we'll go through it another time. It's just the fact that I can't specifically go into each individual map in order to see everything. So we'll just do Dorado now. So whenever we switch over to do the other double bubble maps, then we'll go over them. But for right now, I just want to get you guys prepped for the scrim that we're doing either tonight or the next scrim that we're doing soon. Whichever one. Yeah, I know there's a 15-second delay. That's... yeah, it's PlayStation. Gotta love it. Far.
I will protect the innocent. Move back. Clearing the area.
Okay, so this map is kind of interesting because, for at least for first point, two kind of comps can be played. First, you have your Brawl, and then you have your Double Bubble. I mean, obviously, because that's meta. But where they set up is in two entirely different locations. When we played Dorado yesterday, when they played Double Bubble on defense, they kind of fucked up in where they were supposed to be playing, right? So where they were playing was this area. So anywhere over here, this is where they were playing. This is not where Double Bubble thrives on the first point of the map. It's honestly not great at all, really. This is where Brawl thrives, right? It's the close kind of corridor. You got payload sitting right here. You're able to just swing out, do your thing with the Brawl, look for chokes for the wall. and then push on to someone, right? That's what this portion of the map is used for if you were to run brawl on this portion, right? So like I said, this isn't where you want to play double bubble. This is where you want to play double bubble. So again, supports, or at least not supports, backline can be over here or over here. Winston sits up here. Echo maybe is on the other rooftop, or Winston's over here. Echo's over here. Tracer's on the ground looking for. Okay, so payload rolls through. Winston drops down. You get Zarya bubble. Echo comes down. Tracer pops out, does her thing, that kind of thing. Zarya bubbles whoever, gives supports to whoever needs it, right? This isn't as clear cut as the two CP maps, just because it's more map to cover for this map, right? So this is kind of where you want to engage, is anywhere from here. Here, right? Eventually, once payload moves through, and let's say they get it past you, fuck, I didn't mean to do that. That's when we rotate back this way. There's only one other spot we can really look to successfully hold, and that's anywhere around this statue, right? Again, Brigana, sit up here. Can see mostly everything. We play around this statue. Winston sits right there. Zarya can probably sit down here. Or Brigana can post in that window, especially if we want to play more aggressive and ahead of the statue. Then Brigana just rotates right there from right there. Winston plays around here. Tracer, I'd say Tracer most likely looks to control this room or this lane, so she can come through here, come on the back line like this. Echo, kind of anywhere over here. Kind of playing this tent in a sense, right? Monkey plays statue, Tracer plays room, Echo plays tent. Brigana, this hallway right here. So either from that window or right here where they can see. So if we're looking to play in this area, Brigana play here. If we look to go more aggressively, all they gotta do, rotate right here. They see now everything. Hopefully that makes sense. At least for defense. Okay. Attacking. You want to hit this high ground or that high ground, same thing applies. Tracer can rotate through. If you hit this high ground, Tracer rotates through, comes around this way. Echo again pops up. Winston jumps up. How are we supposed to make the rotation without getting killed? Are you saying for side of defense, or are you saying for... Here, you know what? This would be a lot better. I'm just going to make a voice chat. Just go in there and we can talk in there instead, just to make it a little bit easier. So go ahead and join the chat when you can, and we can go from there. Yo, what's going on? So what do you mean? Are you talking about defense for the rotation?
Yeah, when you hold like the spawn doors and then you rotate to around the statue.
Okay, so like I said, where you're going to be holding, it's anywhere in that L shape around this main building that I'm shooting at in the VOD. So they're going to wherever the cart moves, right? And once it gets to where I shoot the rockets again, that's when we start to rotate, right? So Monkey will jump back over. If Brigana plays right here or plays the high ground, all you have to do is just rotate back. They shouldn't... You're going to be able to rotate, especially if they're playing cart. If they're trying to be more proactive and come around, then we just have to switch up the angle from which they're coming from. And look to attack them from a different spot. So it's because of this gap right here, in between the bridge hanging above the choke, everyone should be able to get out relatively easy. come over, sit on high ground, right? Yes, it gives them free access to the choke, but it's setting us up in position right next to the statue from where we want to defend.
Clearing the area.
Okay, so now for attack, like I said, if we want to hit right here, Tracer can flank around this way, come up top, hit him from right here, Monkey jumps in. Again, this will be one of those situations where it's just the 2 DPS and the Monkey that's jumping in. Because for the most part, if they're playing a brawl, this isn't where they're going to want to hold, so they'll give up this high ground pretty easily.
Move back.
Okay.
Health restored.
Alright, they want to come up here. This is when you can have, for at least this high ground, have more of your team come up this way, right? So people go through underneath the tunnels, come out this way, and come up top. This is where you can have your backline Zarya, and then 1 DPS come up this way, Tracer Sombra, whoever it is, sits on point. Monkey jumps up, backline comes around this way, Echo comes up with them, and pinches whoever's up here. And after that, we just control this entire high ground. If we do that one, we control that high ground. And then we move from there.
Okay.
Once we come up to the second part of first, that's kind of where it gets more tricky. At that point, you're not looking for a clear-cut setup. For the most part, Monkey is just looking to walk up to someone and still use Leap to get out if possible. If they give us all of this free space right here, then that's going to be even more likely for our Monkey to just walk up, tase, use Get Bubble, jump out. But if they don't and they're still holding this area, we're just looking for a pick from our Echo and Tracer to flank around and look for something. So first point attack, again, a little bit harder. Double Bubble is just notoriously easier on defense than it is attack, just because of being able to, not easier to play, just easier to set up. So you're constantly going to be able to be set up.
Clearing the area.
Okay, so for second point, where we drop down is kind of just anywhere along this high ground. So we play this high ground, support, or backline is all up here, Echo Winston can be up here. Again, Tracer Sombra is going to be on the ground, looking, anywhere around this area. We just want to engage and constantly hit them, right? So let's say their cart's right there and everyone's right there. Winston drops down, does his thing, jumps back out, right? Or drops off and then uses Leap to get out. Tracer comes from an angle. Let's say she comes from right here, hits him right there. Echo is with the Monkey. Brigon and Zarya are poking from up there. And again, same.
Do if they're trying to go high ground.
That comes more with.
From right side.
Yeah, right. So honestly, you're just gonna have to give them all of that, and it's right when they come out of the church on the high ground is where you just hit them, right? So Brig Ana look to play a little bit more back, maybe inside the room, especially if they have a hit scan. So, so kind of right here is where the Ana plays. She can still see where the fight is happening. Zarya kind of plays in between. Brig plays right in front of the Ana, if needed, to throw packs and stuff. And then you just hit them right here. Echo, again, can be right here. Tracer is kind of like that, is the ghost in their back line where she just follows their rotations with them, just unseen. Comes up from behind, pokes them when they come through this way. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, so when we look to control the engagement, when they're coming through lanes, we're just looking to hit them anywhere around here, dropping when we can, setting up, and waiting for cooldowns to be available. That's important. So if Echo doesn't have her cooldowns or Tracer doesn't have the necessary cooldowns to go for an engage, we need to wait for that to happen, right? So at least that's for street phase of this map. Same thing. Just because this long lane of high ground covers mostly all of second point, you're going to have the chance to hit them from right there all the way until the very end of the map. Hopefully that kind of covers second point. For defense, For attack, honestly, it's just going to be constantly trying to fight up here. So that includes making the rotation through the church to come up here. So again, backline, more or less, Zarya, Brig, and Ana kind of hangs back just a little bit to push through this way. Winston leaps up from down here, so Winston comes up, gets bubble, fights for up here, right? Once we get the control of this part of the map, it's kind of smooth sailing from there. But we need to make sure our back line is trying to get in position to come up here. If we want to just like leave the cart to make the rotation to come up here, so that it's like a full 6v6 up here, that's perfectly fine. That's fine. Just leave cart, win the fight, go back to cart when we need to. So again,
So
back line.
we don't need anyone to be pushing the cards.
Not necessarily, but like if for second point when you're fighting for this high ground, if you want to just let cart be where it is or whatever it is, so that you can have a full 6v6 up here, then that's perfectly fine. Or you just have Winston sit on it and wait until everyone is set up, then he jumps up and helps attack up here while the back line is pushing out. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of like the big thing of what we're trying to control on attack.
Move back.
Okay, third point. Again, it's kind of the same thing as second point. This high ground, this T shape is what we're looking to control, and hit them with the engagements, right? So if they come up through this top room, we cannot hit them where it's going to be hard for our monkey to get out. So if our monkey like plays right here and looks to tase them as they come through, this is fine because he still has a window to jump out fairly easily, right? He can just jump out this way. But if they're just playing cart and they're coming around here, then same thing as second point, just drop down on them to kill them. But most of the time people are going to look to rotate up here, so we want to take these engagements a little bit more open so our Winston's able to leap out. So at that point, Brig Ana right here. Zarya could possibly sit over here on this bridge, being able to bubble, beam from here, throw nades. Once they push through, and if they successfully push through, she either drops or starts falling back with the supports. Tracer Echo again. Tracer is their ghost in the back line, coming up from behind. Echo playing over here. Or let's say if you have an Ashe, Ashe could be playing right here and poking them from here. Yeah, honestly, it's just these escort maps are kind of a bit easier to explain than 2CP, just because 2CP is more, in my opinion, choke heavy. For attack, again, it's the same thing. We're looking to hit them up here. Same thing as on second. If we want to have a better chance of getting this high ground, we need to have our back line rotate through to come up here when we're ready. Monkey jumps up, we look to fight for this control. After that, anything after that in this area is just kind of rotating CDs, looking for an option to get picks. Okay, I think that kind of covers double bubble for the scrim. So the other two maps that you guys are going to be playing is going to be King's Row, and I think I said... fuck.
Oasis, right?
No, because that's the double bubble map that you guys are most likely going to be running.
Okay.
Busan. That's the other one. Busan and King's Row are going to be your guys' brawl maps. I chose the maps the way I did just because I wanted to see how you guys execute double bubble on specifically those maps, and it gives me more footage to be able to point out stuff so that we can get stronger at the comp altogether.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully this helps. These are at least the rotations for this map. Again, there is more to double bubble than just these rotations, and that picture perfect, Winston leaps in, gets bubble, DPS come on a flank, Ana has clear LOS a monkey, just because Overwatch is not a clear-cut game, right? You're not going to have that picture perfect every time, rotations and engagements. It's going to be all over the place, but that's going to be where me seeing footage of you guys is going to be able to is going to be more likely for me to say, okay, we need to either call for us to play slow, wait for CDs or something, or, you know, Tracer, you should have taken that duel. Echo, you should have taken that duel. Supports, you should have been over here. Should have used Nano, should have used Rally. Bubbles were misused. Monkey, you fed your ass off, that kind of thing.
Okay. Is there any, like, clear times to use Rally? Like in one double bubble? Because, like, the monkey's always, like, away from the supports, so...
Right, so... A good, I'd say a clear-cut time to use Rally would be in those engagements. Here, I'll go to the place of the map to show it. Is when everyone is going to be rotating at that specific point. So, basically, how dive has always worked, usually, is from point A to point B, everyone jumps in, right? How we're looking at this is our backline, DPS, and everything else is rotating to point B, and Monkey stays on point A until we're ready to engage, and then Monkey joins everyone at point B to be with them at point B. So like this church example that I was using, right? Everyone leaves, comes up around here. Once backline pushes through church, that's when we pop Rally. Monkey jumps up. He now gets the effects of Rally as well as everyone else around him. Does that make sense?
Okay. So just do it when we engage.
Yeah. Or if it, honestly, like I said, there's going to be some sloppy fights that you guys are going to have.
Yeah.
It's up to you to kind of trial and error to see what works best for you. And if it doesn't work, just make a mental note. Don't do it again. Like,
Okay.
you're for support alts, you're never really going to understand fully how to use them until you fuck up quite a bit to
True.
understand. So, like, I coached this one player, and her biggest problem was she was using beat in A plus B, or A equals B plus C Overwatch, right? So, she's on Lucio, she beats when they have grab, and she only thought, okay, I need to beat when they have grab. I can't use it for anything else, or I need to hide for EMP and use beat only for EMP, right? When it's not that clear cut, and it's not always going to be like that.
Sadly.
Right, and I told her, I was like, hey, you need to start kind of experimenting with this, and not just, like, yes, if it's possible, use it for that clear-cut Overwatch. You know, they grab, and if it's needed, we use beat. If they EMP, if it's needed, we use beat. If that scenario comes up, then definitely go for that. But if someone's low, then you need to do that. That's the kind of thing that you're going to have to do as supports to fully understand the extent of your abilities with the ult. And eventually it'll come secondhand on what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay, because I've kind of gotten the beat under control.
Yep.
But, like, I'm still kind of trying to work out my rally timing.
Yeah.
Much better. Clearing the area.
I'd say, because for the most part, the only time you're going to be playing Brig now is in Double Bubble. So that's like the clear-cut version of when you're supposed to be doing it, is when everyone's looking to do that engage. Is a good example. But there are other scenarios, just like with beat, where you're going to need to use it when it's not an engage. So, like, let's say we're looking to counter dive, right? So we're looking to, you know, wave our nice juicy Ana bait sitting out with our Brig right next to her, and we're going to counter dive them once they push in. And if that's the call that's made, once they jump in, we pop rally. They just fucked up because now they're pushing into a rally. Know what I mean? Yeah, so like the team that you guys were facing the other day wasn't good at double bubble necessarily. Yes, they had good, for the most part, good CD usage, but optimizing the comp to its full, they weren't doing. They were doing it like you guys were, but just better with the CD usage. So, you know, they were doing the bubble Winston goes in, and we try to follow up with him, but they weren't setting up like I have just shown you throughout the last 3 maps, right? So if you guys have to go against them again and that kind of thing, or anyone in double bubble, you guys will be fine doing it. It'll be quite easier for you guys to do it now that you know the rotations and how to do it. So
just outmaneuver them, basically, right?
you'll be able to because I have now shown you how to do that.
Rains from above.
Okay.
You just the big thing is just mirroring rotations, and why most people are playing Brawl is because it's just easier, right? Right now, Korea is the only people who's really playing Double Bubble too much because everyone else has looked at Brawl, like EU, NA, has looked at Brawl and said, okay, yeah, Brawl is just, whenever we face Double Bubble, we just run over it. But that's because of how bad people are at Dive, or how bad people are at Double Bubble in general. Because this team is a Masters team, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like mid-master.
Right, because this team is a mid-masters team, you're not going to be facing these like super great teams that are great at Brawl, great at Double Bubble. So as long as we can start getting you guys to master one or two of these comps, it doesn't matter what NA, EU, or Korea sees as the best comp or meta comp, because it's a masters level, so people are not going to are going to be making the same mistakes that a lower team should be making, and the higher teams won't be making those mistakes, right? I know that kind of sounds kind of confusing, but
No, I get it.
excuse me. That's kind of the gist of it. So once we get you guys to start working on Brawl and Double Bubble, we'll probably be doing something where we have half of the maps be Brawl, half of the maps be Double Bubble, just so we can get you guys a little bit more situated on both sides, so both comps get a chance to shine.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Prox is going to be at the scrim. I'm assuming he always is anyway, so I've kind of already filled him in on where which comps should be played over one another. So hopefully he'll be able to kind of convey that to the rest of you guys.
Okay.
So, do you have any more questions on the comp in general?
For now, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay.
Probably have more soon, but...
Yeah, absolutely. This is just kind of base stuff to look at before a scrim, so you guys at least know what you're doing. You know, and you're not just trying to basically do what you did last scrim and just kind of flail around and, you know, look at the comp and say, well, this comp, you know, sucks dick, it sucks. Why aren't we just running Brawl kind of thing? So this is just to explain how to play the comp and the rotations that need to be made. So, yep, so that's all I got.